Welcome back to Money, Marriage, and Media. I am your host, Mike, and guys, we did it. 600 subscribers, right? But it's a small victory. It's the first goal that we're going to surpass. The next goal is 1,000. So we're not even going. It's a mini celebration. Hit the community tab. There's a post about it. Go ahead and like it. That's the celebration because this is a small victory, and we got to move. We got to keep moving forward and get this thing rolling. So the next one is 1,000 subscribers. Right? Let's get going. Now, speaking of getting it going, we're back with Daily Wrap Up Crew. Proof that men need to teach modern women accountability. Now, best guess I think what's going on here is that men need to hold women accountable. Yes, but not like you think. I'm gonna start off with that, but I think that they're gonna try and take this into since when the man is supposed to lead, so he should teach a woman to be accountable. It's either that or women should learn to be accountable before they get the relationship. I disagree with that a little bit, but we're gonna men should hold women accountable, but not in that sense. I think I'm gonna have a different take on what they got, but I'm interested to hear it. So let's go.
Is it up to a man to teach a woman accountability? Because in that clip, as I just heard, she said that she didn't understand accountability until a man kind of taught it to her. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she was just coasting by, life because nobody ever really, we got to be honest, nobody really holds women accountable. Like, you know what I mean? So do you think it's up to a man to teach a woman accountability?
No.
So who teaches?
Why not?
Because I know for me personally, I never liked to take accountability like when I was younger. Like, I hated that shit. I used to run away from that shit. Hated taking accountability. That's something that life lessons taught me. Like, I had to teach myself how to hold myself accountable because I noticed that once I didn't hold myself accountable, how shitty it would make me feel. And not only that, the amount of trouble that it would get me in for not holding myself accountable. How many people I would lose in my corner for not holding myself accountable. So it's like, damn, why am I losing all of these people in my corner? It's because I wasn't holding myself accountable. So then going through life lessons, then I started to attract people to me because it's like, okay, you're holding yourself accountable. You have a stable head on your shoulders. I didn't learn that from a man though. I learned that from just self-reflection, honestly.
So
Shout out to her because sounds like what happens is that she grew up, stopped being a kid, stopped acting like she grew up. Let's leave it there.
at what point in your life did you realize, like, you know what, damn, I need to really just start holding myself accountable? Like, was there a specific moment in your life where that happened, or you just, as you got older, you just realized I just needed this?
It was when I lost a really good friend of me. Like, I did some bullshit. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not gonna go into depth of what I did, but like, I did some bullshit, and I'm like, no, hell no, I ain't do that. Like, I ain't care. You like, you wrong too. Like, feel me? But I didn't hold myself accountable in the situation. Yeah, she knew that we were both wrong, but it's kind of like I was just putting the blame on her. It wasn't necessarily on the both of us, and I wasn't holding myself accountable. So in that event, I lost a good friend, and after that, I'd done some self-reflecting, and it's like, okay, I needed to hold myself accountable in the situation. I was dead wrong as well. Even though
Now, like I said, kudos to her, but this is a show where they talk about relationships. So, what was it that kept that from happening with a man?
she was wrong, I was dead wrong as well. And the situation didn't have to transpire the way it did if I held myself accountable. So, holding myself accountable, it can save me from a lot of things. Like I said before, women need to take accountability in the men that they choose. I can take accountability in the men that I choose. I've chose some shitty men. Like, I need to take accountability for that because it's like,
Nelly, you listening to
I'm
this? Oh, okay.
I need to take accountability for that because it's like, all right, I chose this shitty ass guy, and then I'm over here blaming him. But I put myself through that shit, so I need to take accountability for that. I chose that shitty ass guy, so I need to take that L at the end of the day.
I've never heard a woman use say the word accountability so much into this conversation, so I appreciate you. For
Yeah, she used it a lot.
holding yourself accountable. And let me go with Nelly real quick. What's your thoughts on it? You think a man should teach a woman accountability, or when should a woman learn account? When did you learn accountability? I asked a lot of questions in that one.
Word, like, I know.
I mean, yeah, I feel like with everything we go through, like friends, everything, we should have accountability of the situations we put ourselves in. Sometimes we might not see it at the moment, but after.
Notice how we're still talking about friends and not relationships. The question is did they really learn anything? I don't know.
After you realize, like, after you go through something, you're like, wait, hold up, maybe I had a gut feeling about that, so maybe I should have trusted my gut feeling. So yeah.
Do you think women hold themselves accountable?
I don't honestly, like that the girl said on the video, like girls like to skate through things. I don't think so. I feel like girls just do what they want to do, what makes them happy at the moment, like. And I feel like certain girls, they're just, a lot of girls are just so careless. Like they move careless, like with their friends, with their man. And there's just not enough realness out here. I don't know.
No, there's a lot of immaturity out here. That's what it is. And like I always say, we got to do a better job of raising our kids, specifically our daughters. The immaturity level of early to mid 20s is just ridiculously, the immaturity level is too high. Women, particularly in that age group, don't take life serious when it comes to relationships, people and relationships. Guys is a little bit different because most men that age don't have anything. So it's like, as a guy, okay, I got to get out here and make something happen because, I ain't getting nothing. But let's keep going because
I don't know. That's my thing about it.
But
I did have to learn accountability, like going through my bad relationships. I did have to learn about it and understand, like, listen, like,
I'm picking the wrong niggas, like, I'm saying.
Not even that. just giving chances and chances over and over again. Like, I had to stop doing that. And
see, I don't necessarily blame them for that, because I don't blame them. I don't blame women for picking the wrong guys. What I blame is them is not using the resources that they have available to them to vet said guys. Where are the male members? Where are the male family members that should be helping you select guys? See, that's missing out the picture, and that's not the majority of the time. That's not going to be the girl's fault, because that relationship has soured. That had to have happened, that it takes years to sour relationships to the point where the men in your family, they don't want to have nothing to do with you. Which again, you're in your early 20s. Something might have happened like 10 years ago. So that we have a breakdown somewhere, and that needs to be addressed.
I had to be like, listen, like, what's my problem? Like, I really got to stop being so nice. You get what I'm saying?
Naive.
Yeah, it's not nice. It's naive. That's a good word.
You gave me the DeAndre Jordan look, like she was like, I don't know, accountability. I ain't trying to talk about this. So,
no, because I feel like I have accountability
issues.
Yeah. Because you know what, I really, and I don't know, it's just my personality. It's just me. I just really don't like being wrong.
No,
I'm working on it. Let me tell you.
I swear to God, I was
Shut
I knew y'all
up.
going to blame
Oh my
it on
God,
the
yes.
All right, you know what? No, high level conversation, because she admitted it. We all heard the whole, sign language, right? The need to be right is the end. The fact that she can admit that without anybody saying it, I'm going to call that high level conversation, because most of the time, they're not going to admit it. What happens most of the time, it's the guy's fault. But I think that they framed the question in a way to where it made, you know what? No, it's not the question that's framed. It's the first young lady who spoke. She immediately took set the tone, and the rest of them are just following suit. Because, hive mind, that thing, yeah.
I'm
y'all gonna blame
Scorpios
the Zodiac,
are toxic.
right?
The
Yeah.
most toxic
I'm
people.
not toxic. Stop it. Anyway, I'm not toxic.
The one with the sugar.
Okay, let me tell you. I don't have a sugar daddy. He's not a sugar daddy. Listen, anyway.
You just say you had whatever.
Anyway, let me tell y'all.
There she
Anyway,
go, not taking
I
accountability.
do feel like shut up. I feel like it depends in like different contexts. Like I did learn, like growing up, I learned accountability within friendships at a young age because I had a lot of falling outs by middle school. Like I already had a whole bunch of falling outs. So high school. So by the time I got to college, I knew how to like act and be a better friend towards people. And
Again, it's always about the friends. It's never about in relationships with men. Am I tripping here? Because that's the way they phrase. That's why I said it's not the question. It's the way the first girl answered it. That's why they're saying that stuff, because the question implies that in a relationship, because they reference this with a clip. It's a reaction to a clip that they have another guest on their channel. I'm not gonna play the reaction because it's not necessary. You guys already can see what's going on here, but this is just crazy to me. It's like, so they're not really being accountable then. All they're saying is that they're talking about times where they were wrong and didn't admit it. But that's not the what are you saying? That's not the premise of the question. And I think they know that.
and like I guess take accountability for certain things. But when it comes to relationships, that's something I still have to work on. I'm not going to sit here and be like,
Okay.
yes, I'm not going to lie. I still have to work on that. Like
Why is there a difference though?
because I feel like you said, like, and I do agree with what she's saying, like girls, we just kind of
The difference is that if they're talking about their friends, they can still keep the sister code intact. Or if you start talking about relationships, well, no, it's not believe all women, because we have examples of women doing wrong. So, yeah.
we're not used to taking I
Like,
just
we're
feel
so ready
like,
to move
yeah,
on.
like, because I'm so used to guys always being the one to apologize. Like, I'm just used to that. That's the thing. Like, guys are usually I
That's
guess,
true.
because they're the head, we expect them to come with flowers if something went
You
wrong.
wrong,
or
and I'm still bringing
wrong,
you
but you're still
flowers.
gonna, yeah. No, I do agree.
The
and
term
it's
be
not,
the bigger man.
That's not being the head. That's him. That's him just not wanting to argue anymore, because if you're dating, that's him not having a lot of options. It's a little different from marriage, but when you're dating, that's the guy scared that he's going to lose you, and he don't want to be alone. He don't have anybody else. He don't want to put the work in to go find anybody else. Because if he knows that if you're wrong and he's sitting there apologizing for it, that's exactly what that is. He thinks the relationship is worth saving, and he is trying to do it, and he is trying to just he's trying to get you back on board with it. It's definitely not a move of coming from a sense of strength, but sometimes you got to do that in order to make the relationship work if you think it's worth it. Now, again, a guy who has a lot of options, no, he's gonna let you go be wrong by yourself. And well, I shouldn't say a lot of options. A guy who thinks his value is high, his values. No, let me rephrase that again. Let's think about this. A guy who thinks his value is higher than hers, he's gonna have a hard time tolerating that. So,
And
Yeah,
it wouldn't
be the
be a
bigger
thing,
man,
like,
yeah.
if men wasn't apologizing for shit that they didn't need to apologize
yeah,
for. Like.
it's the truth. Like, we catch attitudes, like, and we blame it, it do be that time of the month. But you know what I'm saying? Like, we'll do something, have an attitude all day, and you still gotta come kiss my ass. You know what I mean? And that's just something that we, like, I feel like as females are conditioned. And I didn't realize it until, like, recently, like, my past relationships, I see, like, girl, just apologize. Like, if I would have just apologized, this whole shit would have been blown over, because guys don't even be caring about certain stuff. If I would just apologize because I was dead wrong for my attitude, you right. My mouth is crazy. You right. I shouldn't have said that. If I would have just did that, we would have been good. You know what I mean? So I do know that, like, that's something I got to work on.
Yeah, if women came to this realization, I think relationships will last a lot longer.
No, see,
Yeah, it's the
that's the. We could sit here and say that and blame them, but we are responsible for that. You know why? Because we keep fucking bowing down to this stupid shit, and allowing them not to hold themselves accountable, still trying to be the bigger man, and all they doing is offering us pussy after instead of saying they sorry or doing something different, they're gonna do the same shit, have an attitude about the same shit, and all you getting back is the same pussy you got yesterday.
Well, me personally, I take accountability. Like when I'm in a relationship and we have a bad argument.
if that's the case, then why didn't she say it the first time before going into that story about her and her friend? See, Nah, he's saying it after the fact. After he said something means it's not. It means that you don't necessarily believe it. You're just trying to jump on the bandwagon. You see how this stuff works out?
It's a bad falling out. And I might say some shit that's out of line. I take accountability on my part. Before he even apologizes, I'd be like, you know what, babe? I said something wrong. I apologize for that. I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have had an attitude. This whole thing didn't have to go the way it did. If, we could have came to an understanding sooner if we saw
Now they need to go ahead and ask her. Okay, is that what happened in your last relationship?
eye to eye sooner,
Weren't we all taught what was right from wrong as children? So in that same aspect, why can't we hold ourselves accountable when we did something wrong? If you know what's right from wrong, why the fuck can't you hold yourself accountable?
Right.
Yeah.
What?
Because there's no benefit for it. There's not. And I mean, we almost at the end here. I'll just go ahead and give a summary here because we don't need to go forward anymore. The ladies are giving their response. But whose responsibility is it? It's men's responsibility. You're supposed to hold women accountable. But here's the thing that's missing, because none of them brought this up. Your father is supposed to teach you. It's supposed to hold you accountable when you're a little girl and you're growing up. It's a phrase out there. It's a popular YouTuber. He says, dads keep sons out of jail and daughters off stripper poles, right? In most cases, the father is the disciplinarian. Now, this is, again, where we got to step up, men, and make sure that we are in the home. We got to stop having these kids out of wedlock. Stop giving your seed away and figure out if that's the woman that you want to spend the rest of your life with. Then you that. So that's where it starts at. It starts in the home and the way we raise our children. Because again, we've got to raise the level of maturity in our kids. Now, I'm not talking about them losing their innocence. But they need to do a better. We need to do a better job of making sure that they have the tools for survival. Because this whole thing, like in our community, is popular to say, well, 18 and you're gone. But then, that's not enough time. Because especially when we did a piss poor job of raising them to begin with. Because let's face it, this is, even though we're in a stage where, a lot of our kids are growing up in daycare and they're not maturing fast enough. That's one of the problems. I never talked about that before, but that's one of the issues, is that we relying on other people. Too many times we're relying on other people to raise our children. And and we're looking at the results of that. So we've got to start doing. We need to start. This is why I say that if you get married, if we move the average age of marriage down to at least 25, right? That gives you and your wife enough time to actually sit down and plan out having kids, instead of waiting until our 30s to try and get married, and then we're up against the biological clock, and now we gotta have kids immediately. And when there's no thought into it, it happened, so we ain't using birth control. Well, we're pregnant, so we're just gonna figure it out on the fly. No, take some time to get to know your spouse, right? Y'all got some time to travel, or if you really want to, run up the school board, both of y'all take out time to build a career somewhat, make some money, save up, and most importantly, have a plan for how you want your family to develop. So then now you have time, now you got time and resources set aside devoted to raising your kids better, making sure that that you have a plan in place that's going to help them develop mentally a lot sooner. And again, we're not talking about they growing up too fast. We're talking about the maturity level by the time they're of age to get married. That's how we increase the quality of women out here, gentlemen. I mean, you keep complaining. Y'all in my comments complaining about women and everything else. But what I don't see is, so what I don't hear from men is, how can we personally ensure that the next generation of women is going to be better? That's the conversation that we need to talk about. And that's what I promise you, we're going to start having those conversations more and more on this channel, because it's that important. We can't sit here and keep complaining about women and all the stuff that they do, but not offering possible solutions, right? Again, we want everyday solutions, things that the average man could do. Not just, go make a bunch of money so you can be the breadwinner and you can tell your woman to shut up and sit in the corner and she do whatever you tell you. That's not realistic. And no guy wants to marry a woman like that, because those, believe it or not, those are the women who most likely end up divorcing you. Again, we can go on and on about this stuff, but the bottom line is we're talking about accountability here, and men do need to teach women accountability, but it happens at a much younger age. This is why it's important that, if you're a guy and you're out there, what's the relationship like with her father? Source relationships are important. That's how we base all relationships that we encounter in our life are based on the source relationship. So if the father wasn't there, you're going to have some issues. Yeah. But look, guys, this is a great conversation. I'm going to say goes to the next time. 1,000 subs. That's what we're shooting for. Peace. Thanks for making it to the end of this video. But do me another favor. Like and subscribe. But also check out these here. Either subscribe or watch videos. One or the other. I don't know which side. But hey, all right.